The Gallagher Shots podcast is sponsored by Tyre Spot, the Northeast's leading tyre supplier with branches across the region. Tyre Spot don't just do tyres, they cover everything from servicing to wheel alignment. They can handle every aspect of your car's maintenance. For more information, visit tyrespot.co.uk. Enjoy the episode.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel and podcast, and it is myself, Kris, joined by Deka this Wednesday morning as we do a reaction to the well, I'm going to say breaking news. It's not really breaking news. We heard about the rumours yesterday that Newcastle United have suffered another setback when it comes to the Carabao Cup final, but not just the Carabao Cup final. It is for the rest of the season. Lewis Hall has picked up that injury during the Premier League game against Liverpool, and he is now out with a foot injury for the remainder of the season. Like I said, it adds another blow to preparations going in that cup final. We'll get into it in a little bit more detail, but Deka, it's when it rains, it pours. We mentioned it on Monday night, and it is absolutely pissing down right now, mate.
Yeah, when you said breaking news there, you were right. I think Lewis Hall's foot's broke. I think that's what's breaking.
True.
I've even got me. Look, I'm trying to be positive here. I've even got my Champions League cup to try and reminisce on better days. But no, it's been a really rough couple of days. I think compounded with the Gordon scenario of the red card. That's more so final. That's me mind of the final talking. Hall's been such a integral part of the season. He's been absolutely brilliant. Came on leaps and bounds. Proved a lot of doubters wrong. I think some people maybe didn't think he was maybe the answer, but he most certainly he's been amazing. And I'm looking this more for the top 5/top 4 talk for Champions League. That's where my mind's going. You're technically losing your left hand side now for definitely 3 games, including Gordon, and then of course
minimum. Yeah.
Hall of course out for the season. It's just awful, mate. And I've said this for a while, right? And I'm not saying it's this gypsy curse we were talking about on Monday, but I do feel sometimes we really are cursed. Like, just
like on Monday night, that the title of the podcast that we did on the live show with Mark, it was basically history repeats itself, and it's done it again with obviously the red card. Nick Poole picked up the last one going into the cup final. Anthony Gordon stupidly picks up this one, and now it's just another thing to throw into the mix. There's definitely a curse on this football club, and do you know what it is? I'm laughing, because if I'm not laughing, I am crying, because I think we're all in agreement that going into that cup final, it was a big ask because of the opposition and how well Liverpool have been playing this season. They're fantastic, and we saw it just a couple of weeks ago when we took the trip to Anfield. But it's a cup final. You're not playing at Anfield. You're playing at Wembley, and anything can happen. As long as we've mentioned it numerous times, as long as your key players are there and performing to the best of their ability, we had a chance. I think slowly, I'm saying slowly, it's not even slowly, rapidly, that the percentage of us winning that game has took a big hit and decreased. I'm not saying that we've got no chance. I'm not saying that, but it's dropping like a stone. And do you know what it is? I think it's more damaging that it's that full left hand side, Deka, as well, because it leads on to the conversation about PSR and how we're sold Lloyd Kelly, just to try and get over that. And we've really put all our eggs in one basket going into the summer, and it looks like that they've aimed at the summer to have this rebuild of certain positions. We've all seen the interview with Darren Eales where he mentions it as well. But I had a sneak feeling that we'll probably go 5 at the back going in that cup final. But obviously there's rumours now that Botman's not even going to be making that as well.
Yeah.
Hall's out of that. So if you're picking a back 5, God knows who that's going to be. You're probably going to stick Emil Kraft playing in as one of your 3 centre-backs, I would imagine, with Trips on the right, Tino on the left, and obviously Fabian and Dan Burn as well in the middle there. I don't know. Do you know what it is? If Eddie gets us a trophy with the tools at his disposal right now, he deserves more than a statue, mate.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think what hurts the most, if I'm just thinking for the final, is everyone's waxed lyrical, and rightfully so, of just how good Mo Salah is, right? Salah is the man, right? I can't deny
Sensational,
that.
yeah.
And you've seen how well Hull did it. The away game, almost you could call it the dress rehearsal only a few weeks ago. And I know Salah got an assist, but Hull did brilliant against him. And you're going up against arguably the best player in the world, and we're losing one entire left-hand side. I mean, now we can plug gaps, right? There's options. I've seen some of the lads chatting today about like bring the band back together, which would be the back four of, well, I think Botman would have been in this. That can't happen really, but it was Dan Burn back to left back, which terrifies me. I mean, my God, Salah against him.
Salah, no thanks.
Yeah. I think it'll have to be Tino, right? And let's be fair, I think Tino did well the last game out, even though we lost, like it was against Brighton, but I thought Tino did well over there. But you're in a scenario where you're kind of you're just plugging people in, aren't you? Plug and play and hoping that's going to work. I definitely think Trippier is going to come in at right back, and then Tino will shift over to the left, because I don't think Target. I don't know. Target may be the initial option, but I'd be surprised if I'm honest. I think it'll be
Target's probably your natural replacement when it comes to left back for left back. But we know that Tino can do a job. We know that Trips can do a job over there as well. Done it for England so many times. But I think it will be similar to what we saw at the weekend as well. It will be against Brighton. It'll be Trips on the right and be Tino on the left. But that's considering nothing happens in the fixture against West Ham, which will coming up on Monday night. And so where does Eddie Howe look at that one? Did he look at that and think, right, we can't risk losing anybody else? Because I've seen a few things on social media where saying Eddie Howe should make a lot of changes going in that game just to remove the threat of losing anybody else. Will Eddie Howe do that? I doubt it very much. It just doesn't seem like his character in a Premier League game to put a weak squad out. But it's right before a cup final, so I'm not so sure.
It's a funny one, because I think, let's say we're 11th in the league, we're 10th or 11th in the league, and you're not really going to make any moves. Then yes, I think you would see a really depleted team for Monday. But we need Champions League football, or certainly European football. But at the minute, we're in such a position where we can achieve a Champions League place, and going up against West Ham, that's a game you need to get 3 points from. So I can't see him going weak. However, in the back of your mind, you think, God, what happens if we lose more players? Like, what happens if let's say he played Tino? Let's just say he did, and Tino got injured. You're then in a big an even worse situation. My mind's been thinking about the left-hand side. Does Barnes start? Does Joe Linton get a shot back out left like he used to? So we do have options. I mean, let's be fair, right? I know the left back is an issue. The Gordon situation, we are losing again one of our best players. But we have,
and the club have announced that they're not going to be even attempting to appeal the red card. I think we all knew that. There's a lot of people kicking off about it, saying, well, they could have at least tried. Well, I think you're just wasting everybody's time by trying that, because it was a red card all day long. So I think the club have...
they've obviously analysed it.
They've looked at it,
they've had a discussion and thought, right, what's the chances? Yeah, they're probably getting some instruction and education from people that they know, you know what I mean, and say, like,
they would have took some advice for some officiating, wouldn't they?
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, because to me that just prolongs the possible, you know what I mean, and maybe he'll be able to play. You've nailed it down. He's not coming. He's not being able to play. We now have to come up with a game plan and a strategy moving forward. But yeah, if we get any more players injured on Monday, Chris, I think we'll be crying Monday watching that game. If anyone else gets it, or sent off, or something.
we are doing a watch along on Monday night as well, in the studio on the Always Smile and Face It podcast. So God knows how that'll go. Obviously we will talk a lot more about it with the rest of the lads doing that. Can't wait for that. But do you know what it is? I think if it had been one position, like Gordon, if it had just been Gordon, then you'd been right. Okay, we can make some adjustments to try and attempt to make that work. Yeah. The fact that I mentioned earlier, that full left-hand side needs to be shuffled completely. And yes, we do have the options that you mentioned where Joe Linton and Willock can swap. You've got the options of Barnes on the left-hand side. So he's got a couple of options there. Okay. I'm really not sure what he'll go with, because if we look at the players that we've just mentioned, you look at Barnes. Barnes struggled so far this season when he came on to get his chances. The same with Willock. Willock's hot and cold at the best of times. So yes, you do have options there, but you don't have anybody that's as the quality of Anthony Gordon. And I'm not expecting that because Anthony Gordon's been a bit hit and miss as well throughout the season at certain points. But he's always a goal threat. And people will argue back and say, well, Barnes has picked up a few goals. He has, right? I'm not denying that he has. It just, I don't know. I think the partnership that Isak and Gordon has on in attacking formation, obviously along with Murphy as well, throwing him on the right hand side. When those three work as a unit, it is dangerous. Barnes in there, Willock in there. Yes, Willock's going to drive forward. I don't know which way Eddie Howe's going to go. And do you know what it is? That might be a good thing because it's also going to keep likes of Honest Slot guessing and Liverpool guessing as to what formation Newcastle are going to go with. Might work in our favour. It's just that full left-hand side, and like you mentioned, with Salah being so dangerous, the most informed player in the world right now. He's absolutely amazing. It's just, I don't know. You're hoping Tino can do a job there because I'm fully expecting it to be Tino in that position. It's just
I think so.
He can do it.
I think Tino, because he certainly has the pace and the energy to be able to keep up with Salah. He's got the tenacity as well. I personally, I said this on Monday night and I'll say it again. I really want Joelinton to be in the centre of midfield, and it's for obviously his presence in there. But how many times have we said over the years with him playing that role when he comes over at the left hand side to help defend defensively, and we miss that. And I think that's where Joelinton will be key in supporting whoever it is that plays left back.
So do you think it'll be more of a 4-5-1?
No, I think. I think he'll play the kind of 4-3-3 style. Out of possession, it will become a 4-5-1.
Yeah.
In possession, it'll be a 4-3-3. But I just think playing Joelinton, the left of the three, he will be able to come and support whoever's left. We've seen that so many times over the successful periods we've had, where Joelinton fills in at the left back area. And I'm pretty. I feel he'll go for Barnes left. Basically, a swap for Barnes for Gordon, and of course, Isak and Murphy continue as always. Really,
yeah, that's what I think you'll probably go with as well. I don't think it'll change.
Bruno Gianali.
It's like a hybrid.
Joelinton, Tonali, and Bruno as the three in midfield, which it's fantastic, man. It's good.
Yeah.
It's a great midfield. It's just I was so annoyed with the Liverpool game. The defeat didn't bother us at all. It was how, in my opinion, we almost looked afraid in midfield to get on the ball and try and make something happen. We looked afraid of that. We looked afraid of them. So hopefully that isn't the case, of course, in the final. I think.
And with Joelinton coming in there, that may fix that.
I think so. Yeah. Now again, Monday might tell our story because let's say he might start Target on Monday. Now is that because he just wants to keep Tino fit for the final? And we might be scratching our heads after Monday night, mate, and going, "Why? Well, Joelinton was amazing left wing, wasn't he? And Target did a great job. And will he start? We don't know. So, but for me personally, it would be Trippier, Shea, Burn, Tino. You midfield three, which I've just mentioned: Barnes, Isak, and Murphy. And I think we'll win 2-1. And we've won the cup.
See, we're being optimistic. We're still being optimistic about this. We'll have to be. I think I sipped through his Champions League cup. You couldn't have done that better, mate. Honestly. But yeah, like I said, we're not going to go too long on this one. We're going to wrap it up there. But we felt as if we had to put something out because it's a huge talking point, not just for that cup final, but for the rest of the season as well. Yeah. Lewis Hall probably, arguably, if you take Isak out of the equation, because your goal scorer is always going to get the headlines. But if you take Isak out of that, I would say Lewis Hall's probably been the player of the season. He's been great this season. One of the players that is constantly performed well, I would say. And even when the rest of the team are playing poorly, you think, oh, well, Lewis Hall had a decent game. So it's such a shame for him as well. And we're not even mentioning the likes of Thomas Tuchel coming up with his England squad as well. And sadly, Hall's going to miss out on that as well, which obviously I don't think it'll affect it in the long run because we all know he is a great player. But obviously, a new manager coming into the England setup, it's such a shame for him as well. And the chances that he's going forward for the rest of the season, I'm absolutely good for the lad, really am. Gordon, not so much so, because it was his own daft fault. But Hall, absolutely devastating.
Has there been any quotes from Gordon at all? Has he came out and said anything? No,
not that I know of, me. I thought they might have just waited until the club dealt with it internally in regards to are we going to appeal for this or not. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we'll see anything from Gordon. I think maybe Eddie Howe might think it'll disrupt things behind the scenes. But I don't know. He might come out and just apologise. But you know what our fan base can be like at times, mate. There's going to be a few comments on the back of that.
True,
so
yeah. I just thought that the club, I think, will probably do something like sit down, very, very small interview. And I'm not, listen, you don't have to apologise to me. I can imagine just how upset he is with it. You know, I mean, he'll be good.
I'll be good. Yeah, like I said on Monday night, he'll be his own worst enemy at the time, so he doesn't need us jumping on his back as well. We are disappointed, of course we are, but he'll be even more so in himself because he's absolutely screwed it over for us as a fan base and for himself. He was good the last time he couldn't make the cup final, but them being cup tied, but even more so this time because it was in his hands and he's let it go. That's the issue that he's got. But we'll wrap it up, mate. Thanks a lot very much. We'll try and keep it up and be as optimistic as possible for the next couple of weeks as we go into that cup final. Like I said earlier on, we do have the watch along for the West Ham game on Monday night as well. So come along and join us on that one as well. Thanks everybody. If you like the video, just give us a little like as always. Become a subscriber. It costs you nothing to do that. If you do want to give an extra bit back, it is just $2.99 a month to become a member. You get extra content like this sort of thing earlier than everybody else as well. And your contribution will help contribute towards the mixer, which we've just had to replace as well. so yes, just sign up, please. Just please. But yeah, thanks everybody. Watch what you're doing. See you later.